Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and my designandtechtips.com. We got a fun one for you today. If I scroll down this page, I've got a little full width parallax section just about to come in at the bottom of the screen there. I'm not sure, but this is a very smooth effect. My screen recording software may be making it look a little glitchy, but it's actually really smooth. And as you can see, when that little parallax section comes in, we've got a little button that appears as you're scrolling up. It's going to come in, it's going to stay there, it's going to stay its full size for a little while. As we go up, it's going to shrink back out and fade back out into the background. Now, if people are mousing around your site and roll down your site and that sort of thing happens, it's going to get their attention really quickly. And this is a really easy thing to do. There's no coding involved in this today at all. We're using Divi's inbuilt scroll effects to do this. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. Once enabled, let's go down to where we want to work. I'll delete this section and we'll start from scratch. Little blue tab for a section. Going to get rid of that. Let's add a new one. I'm going to put mine in between these two here because we want it to have a bit of scroll room. So I'm putting it sort of halfway down my site, but that's entirely up to you. Hit the little blue button to add a new section. I'm going to make mine a regular section. Inside mine, I'm going to put a single column. Inside that column, I'm going to put a Divi button module. Great. I'm going to leave that just like that. Let's set up our section first to be parallax. So I'm going to go in there, blue tab. Background is always under content. Third tab along, we've got background image. Now, if you're going to use a parallax effect, you want to use a reasonable size background image. I've got one here. One is actually 1344 by 768. It's going to work for me on this one. Once it's in there, it's just a fixed background by default, just like that. To make it parallax, if we look just down below our image here, we've got to use parallax effect. If I click on it, switch it from no to yes. By default, it puts in the true parallax effect, which was the one I was using just now. As you can see, it's actually moving, but it's moving at a different rate from the front of the site, and that is what they call true parallax. They've got another one here that they call CSS parallax, but to me that's just fixed background. That image now is in the background, and it's staying static. The site's moving over the top of it, but it's staying exactly where it is, and I love that. It's very dramatic. But for today's, I'm going to switch it back to true parallax. Great, so we've got our full width parallax section there. Let's make the magic happen with this button. I'm going to go back into the button, dark tab for the module. Obviously put what you want your button to say right there. I'm going to leave mine on the default. Link where you want to take your people when they click on the button, put that in right there. Always best practice if you're linking to your own site, keep it in the same window. If you're linking off-site, open it in a new tab. That way your site's going to stay open. Okay, design-wise, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Alignment, I want to pop it in the middle of our section right there. Then just down here where it says button, I'm going to use custom styles. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go down, let's change the color perhaps. I'll get rid of that border by taking it away right here. Going to take that down to 0 so there's no border. And let's perhaps make it a pill-shaped button by giving it a large border radius. Let's give it, say, 50 pixels. Just put in the 50, it'll put the pics. And you've got a pill-shaped button. Okay, well, that works for me. Obviously, make your button how you want to. And there's all kind of fonts you can choose from. Divi's got a crazy amount of fonts here. To audition one, just click on it. Roll over the font you want to look at. It'll give you an example. I'm going to leave mine on the default today. Great, well, let's add our little scroll effect now. And to do that, we need to go over to our advanced. And this is common to all sections, rows, and modules. So if you go over to advanced, down at the bottom, you'll find scroll effects. And if we look here, we've got several little tabs. We've got vertical motion, horizontal motion, fading in and out, scaling up and down, that's growing or shrinking, rotating, and blurring out. Well, with my button, when the section comes up, I want it to be invisible, then I want it to fade in from really small to normal size about here. I want it to stay normal size from about here up to about here, and I want it to disappear again. all of this really easy to do. Let's start out with the actual fade itself. I'm going to click on the Fade tab. I'm going to enable fading in and out by clicking on the little switch here, turn it from no to yes. And we've got a little timeline here. Viewport bottom is the bottom of your screen, whatever screen you're looking at it on. That's whether it's a mobile phone, tablet or desktop. Top of your screen is the top of your screen, obviously. Up here, viewport top. So when it comes in, I want it to be invisible, which is 0 right there. If I take that down now, you can see it's starting to fade out. Then when it gets up to perhaps 40 or 50%, I want it to be fully visible. So I'm going to take this left-hand slider, I'm going to take that down to 40. Wherever it is you want to take yours. I want it to be 100% visible, just like it is there. I want it to stay 100% visible up to maybe 70. Then I want it to fade out again. So I'm going to put a 0 in that top viewport so it's invisible. So if we look down now, it's going to fade in. It's solid at about 40%. It's going to stay there till 70%. And it's going to start fading back out again. It's not quite fading out as much as I'd like. So I'm going to grab these viewport bottoms. I'm going to drag them up a bit. Perhaps to 20, 25%, wherever it is that works for you. Let's take this one down at perhaps 80%. Or 85% would probably do it. Now when I roll down, you'll see that button should actually disappear. So it's disappeared, coming in, staying there, disappearing. Fantastic. But I also want it to grow. I want it to start off really small. And then when it gets up to our 40% to 70%, I want it to be normal size. So we can do that with our scale over here, and you can combine as many of these as you want. So I'm going to click on the scale now. I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. I'm going to enable scaling up and down. Starting scale, I want that to be 0, so it's pretty much invisible down there. If I roll that down there, you can see it's shrinking, coming in. That's working perfectly. I think I can probably just do this. We'll see what happens in the middle. I think I may have to adjust my little arrows there. Yeah, it's not going to be full height, so I want it to be 100% of the size, between 40. I think we did 70, didn't we, on the last one? There we go. Let's take a look now. Fantastic. It's shrinking, it's growing, it's coming in, it's fully visible, it's staying there. It's going to stay full size and full visibility till about here. Then it's going to start shrinking back out again. Perfect. Just exactly what we wanted. Let's save this, make sure it's all going to work on the front end. Hit the little purple button. Save draft or publish if you're ready. Let's exit the Visual Builder and see what we've got here. And let's see what we've got here. I'm going to roll on down. Here's our little parallax section coming in right there. There's our little button fading in and fading out at the top. Like I say, this is a very smooth effect. My screen recording software may be making it look a little glitchy, but it is actually a very smooth, nice effect. Like I say, that sort of thing happens when people are rolling up and down your site. It's going to get their attention pretty quickly, which is what you want. And of course, they can stop it and click on the button, do what they need to do, and then it's going to disappear back out for them again. So there you have it, guys. There's a full width parallax section with fade in button on scroll. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video just like this one. If you've enjoyed the scroll effects today, have a look at our Divi scroll effects video playlist. We've got plenty more of them on there for you, and they're all really easy and really eye-catching. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.